There is a trend towards pessimism that I have when it comes to newer fighting games, mostly because I am bad, and I don't like to be bad, and also a lot of them feel slow. What does that mean, you ask? I don't know, but I do feel it, and you could never take that away from me. Also, if I see another universal armor system, I'm gonna pull a Street Fighter 4 and FADC to blow it off smooth. So what if we went back to the past, to play some games that suck a couple of megabytes of flash memory drive for every pixel it can get? What if we played King of Fighters 98. Also, yes, I am sick. I'm not just trying to dip into the vocal fry cadence all the time. Well, I can tell you after a week that I'm absolutely bad at it. So once again, get ready. Leon Massey, absolute contrarian and fighting game scumbag, once again has put his narcissism back on the line to say that this game is godlike. It turns out I'm not just in a fighting games aren't for me slump, I'm in an all video games aren't for me slump. I like books now. We'll start book club on the Patreon maybe, I doubt it. In spite of that, like a man on the brink of rigor mortis as my passion for everything through my 20s dies, I have developed an itch I can hardly scratch. In the little over a week of playing KOF, I've come to think about it constantly, perhaps because I cannot play it constantly. If Under Night was not European, KOF might as well be on Mars for all the zero bar connections I see. About 3 games a day seems to be the limit, and if I try to go any further I get what might be considered the fighting game version of the substance. Every single one of those games, and I mean every single one of them, I will lose. A fighting game, to me, is determined in its quality by how much you enjoyed losing, and KOF 98 might not be completely devoid of salt, but my god if I'm not filled with a simple joy, an immediate sense that I was one right choice away from that glorious dub, that I'd have more motion than you'd ever be able to conceive of if I just didn't have rigor mortis. It's a breath of fresh air to play a game that's so fundamentally simple without being reductive. I glaze, I stan, I'm big fan. Now you might have heard, King of Fighters, simple, that doesn't add up. When is he gonna start talking about combo trials? Also, isn't 13 just the best game ever? I've never played it or any of the other KOF games, but it's my favorite because my goat who doesn't know I exist followed a trend once. In terms of an English-speaking, post-COVID fighting game community, KOF can develop an untrue assumption from content creators milking the trend hog dry. That's not really a problem, probably the most ethical way to get a bag. One game doesn't represent the whole series though, and KOF can be a hard game without being a hard game. You understand? Combos in this game are so dead simple I can give you a good starting point for every character right now. Get a really low jump in, probably close C, special cancel. And remember, you must plug in your Ethernet at least once a week. It's nice to play a game that's so incredibly plug and play. Getting rocked by a character and thinking, they're pretty cool, but I don't know, they probably take a long time and I've got a full diaper to change is probably one of my biggest frustrations when picking up a new game. Here you look at them and go, this. I like this. I want to make this happen. That simplicity is double-sided. You can pick up and put down characters in an instant, and while you probably won't immediately understand every character just by looking at them, come the end of the round you can probably recall exactly how you lost. You lose to the Swede doing his big kick and wonder what in God's name compelled a Japanese salaryman to make this character. And while you're getting ready to become scrub quotes lolcough for the week, you realize both A, you need to be more assertive to not get put in the cycle, and B, it really just is actually that gross. In a kind of immediately understandable way. There's no, the frame advantage and the low profile alongside the girth of his cock means that roll is the only option that works here but is guaranteed, so actually past the knowledge check, everything sucks. You get in, you get it handed to you, and go, more standing A next time. They like to panic mash on defense. Let's go again. A game like this is so smooth and dissectable that there's a constant state of progress. If you're not learning the character, you're learning the player, you're learning the distance, you're learning you don't actually know how to break someone down if they just stand there and react to you, but that's fine, because the answer to that question will hit you quickly. Oh, I could have neutral jumped, I could have tried rolling, I could have wiggled my way towards him, I could have done anything that isn't short hop at him despite a lot of evidence that it's getting me killed. That's not to say there isn't what I'd just genuinely call jank that will leave you confused. This is a game from 1998 still. Unlike a lot of modern fighting games, there's a huge emphasis on priority here that makes certain interactions feel like it should have gone your way in your mind, but they just don't on paper. Things like proximity block from full screen. It will feel fucking peculiar. Quirks of the time are still present, just alongside alongside a bursting to life charm that comes from when fighting games were a smaller scope. Clear answers to problems that you're put in complement an incredible pace. It's not all buttons all the time, but it's all action all the time. You're moving, you're wiggling, sniffing for the next option while you're trying to run back the replay on your head of what happened the last time that you put someone in a similar situation. While the game asks very little of you, the speed at which players can advance and distance themselves from you has you needing to play into a balance of precautionary play and reactive play. Responding to a jump is putting yourself in the right position to be able to punish like every other fighting game, just with an added caveat that even if it's in the mental stack, you might not have the chance to get it in, so you're having to rely on player tendencies before you can get all of the information to confirm that you've made the right choice. Every game eventually asks you to think a couple of steps ahead. KOF 98 just does it with less ambiguity as to what the right answer was in the first place, and creates a pace where your ability to see down the line is emphasized more frequently than other fighters that I've been playing recently. A focus on KOF fundamentals before character and system-specific understanding. Even on block, because the push block is relatively high and the amount of advancing moves that aren't jump-ins that keep the pressure up afterwards are low, the game's always clear about where the next choice is about to be on a systemic level. If someone's resetting pressure on you freely, it's because you're being a moron. That's not to say that games with the long extended pressure are bad, so long as it asks something of you as a defender. It's just that the frequency in which the last 10 years of fighting games feature defense that has become a drawn-out process has me a little bit tired of it. This can even be the case in Guilty Gear Xrd every once in a while. See, I'm not just like saying it because I'm a fucking moron, I'm saying it because it's annoying me. I'm a contrarian with morals, for God's sake. Holding down back real good doesn't guarantee safety here. However, if your opponent wants to extend the pressure, they have to do something that doesn't naturally advance them, making the point in which you're able to turn the table really obvious. I still get rock, paper, scissors wrong almost every single time. It's just nice to think that scissors need a buff instead of being bewildered as to where the pressure was fake and real. Get it? Scissors Like Heaven by Meiko Kawakami? I'm still on the fence about that book club even after all these 5 minutes. Did I find any characters I adored? Not exactly. The characters are relatively straightforward most of the time, and when they are quirked up, it's not in the Guilty Gear endearing kind of way. It's more like a I want to end it all derogatory. Simple characters here are the bonus though, and so for as much as I'd love to pedestal Lucky in a the best character you've never played, woo, style video, maybe I'd like to keep a simple game with a simple takeaway. The core of KOF 98's simplicity makes it more digestible than a lot of modern fighting games. Not necessarily easier, however that simplicity allows the core skills of play to ring true, without the noise of big 7-second supers you see every single round or armored meat again, green, neutral skip. I often find myself liking these games that have a lot of noise. I mean, hell, like the most excited that I am for a fighting game at the moment is 2XKO, and that game's all noise. Playing 98 was a refreshing return to fundamentals beyond just footsies though. It's got a million billion guys, but I didn't find myself overwhelmed by knowledge. It's got a fairly slim set of systems that in comparison to some games looks anemic, while putting those systems to a BPM that makes it intoxicating. KOF 98 wasn't a game that I thought was sick, I think it's sick. This one's sticking around. 6 out of 10.